When it comes to weight loss, no two people are the same. That's why Noom builds personalized plans based on your unique psychology and biology. Take Britani. After years of unsustainable diets, Noom helped her lose 20 pounds and keep it off.
I was definitely in a yo-yo cycle for years of just losing weight, gaining weight, and it was exhausting.
And Stephanie. She's a former D1 athlete who knew she couldn't outtrain her diet, and she lost 38 pounds.
My relationship to food before Noom was never consistent.
And Evan, he can't stand salads, but he still lost 50 pounds with Noom.
I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. Even through the pickiness, Noom taught me that building better habits builds a healthier lifestyle. I'm not doing this to get to a number. I'm doing this to feel better.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom users compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
1-800-Flowers.com knows that a gift is never just a gift. A gift is an expression of everything you feel and helps to build more meaningful relationships. 1-800-Flowers takes the pressure off by helping you navigate life's important moments by making it simple to find the perfect gift. From flowers and cookies to cake and chocolate, 1-800-Flowers helps guide you in finding the right gift to say how you feel. To learn more, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 5, Episode 4, The Epiphany.
Which epiphany is it, though? Because it sounds like there were quite a few epiphanies along the way.
I have never seen so much footage of someone using that specific word.
Epiphany, and the same story, too, the retelling that happened to multiple people. I do like that Bravo kind of collects all of these shared stories and then just drops them in one segment, so that way you don't have to see them sprinkled in throughout.
They love to embarrass you with a good clip show.
Well, if that's the only thing that you can talk about, that's the only thing that you have on your plate at any given time.
It's because Britani is so boring.
Very much so.
I need the Milwaukee trip to end because I don't need to see any more of Britani. I don't need to see any more of Melee. Is that her name?
Melee?
She was here for 2 minutes in this episode.
Super Smash Brothers Melee is not doing so good.
There is so much going on outside of the show itself. So let's get into the description for the episode, and then we'll talk about all of the things that have been going on social media the past few days.
So the Bravo description for this one is, on day 2 of the Milwaukee Girls' trip, the women support Britani. Lisa plans her own activities. Heather informs Whitney about the Prism rumors, leading to a disagreement between Whitney and Meredith. Britani announces news about her relationship. It's always good for Britani to have a big announcement, huge announcement related to her relationship news with the Osmond.
Okay, this is episode 4.
Yes.
And this has happened twice.
Yeah, so half of the episodes so far this season have concluded with an announcement, a formal announcement from Britani.
Also, I can't get over the fact that they think we remember all of these women's businesses' names. No one remembers what Prism is.
Whitney has a few now, too. And I was like, I didn't even know that she had this many businesses to follow.
It's becoming very confusing. I don't know which one sells the bath bombs. And I don't think Meredith does either.
I don't think Meredith has any idea which one. But she's mad at all of them. But let's hear the Carly episode rewrite description for this one.
Baby Gorgeous qualifies for the Winter Olympics. Mary Cosby leads her own Milwaukee ghost tour. Meredith's mic pack is submerged in tub water. Britani temporarily terminates a friendship.
friendship, relationship. I think this is a very clearly defined example of situationship, because I don't think it's a friendship or a relationship. This is just two people who happen to be around each other and they're able to put up with each other as long as they can.
Do they hook up?
I think that there's hooking up.
Okay, I kind of suspect like maybe they don't. Maybe she just has made a lot of assumptions about where the relationship is going. He's using her for her Costco club membership.
I think that's been established.
They're starting to scan your cards when you're walking in there now. You just can't go without anyone.
It's rough. Yeah, I know. If they're going to start matching up the Face ID stuff, I feel like a lot of people are going to have issues in the Housewives universe trying to cash in on their Costco memberships.
You got to stop changing your face so often.
Yeah, it's going to be, we're going to need a before and after photo on the Costco membership.
Actually, so speaking of, Monica Garcia popped up in my For You page this week. And
that's scary.
I didn't realize it was her at first.
Hello.
And then I heard the voice. That's how I was able to recognize who this woman was. And she was coming for Britani because I guess they had an event in DC where there was a panel where they were speaking about things, and Britani made some comments about Monica, and people keep throwing Monica's name out there. And she's obviously irritated that she's no longer a cast member this season, but they're continuing to talk about her.
Yeah, I think I'm irritated that she's not a cast member this season too. And then maybe I think that's Britani needs to be careful about bringing up Monica's name, because then you're just filling people's heads with ideas of who to replace you with, because you are a footnote in this season.
There is no way that she is making it onto the full-time cast for this show next season. And that was what Monica was talking about. Maybe you should get my name out of your mouth and you should focus on the things that you are supposed to be doing. Like, you know, writing a burn book to bring to the reunion with Andy, or starting a Finsta so that you can spread rumors about the other wives.
Rumors?
It is kind of boring without Monica. Is that what they wanted us to see? They want us to miss her.
Yeah.
And it's kind of working.
It is. Yeah, they have to drum up the interest, and then this is a way to kind of gauge it too. This is hard because this is where the Real Housewives universe is so aligned with the wrestling community, I think, in a lot of ways. Just in the storytelling and the crafting of the narratives, and then you have your factions and your groups. And
You're going to have to explain this for everyone, because I feel like there's not a lot of crossover between wrestling fans and Real Housewives fanatics.
I never really noticed the comparison myself until, it was one of my friends in high school where he was a huge wrestling fan, and then he watched every single iteration of Housewives, and I was so confused by that. I didn't know why this guy would have an interest in that type of a show. And then he explained it to me. It's very much like wrestling. So once it made sense in that way, I was like, wow, yeah, I guess I never really realized how similar that is. Because, yeah, you have your baby faces, you have your heels. So it's like your good guys, your bad guys.
Okay, so you're going to have to explain. Baby faces.
Yeah.
We have Baby Gorgeous. We have Lisa Barlow. Is Lisa Barlow a baby face?
Not this season. She is a heel this season. So she is a bad guy. But you need to have these, sort of. I mean, more so, yes. She's doing more despicable things than good things, I would think.
So the idea in wrestling is that you have people who kind of transcend these factions, right? Where you could be good and then you become bad.
Well, and like factions being like, there's actually like stables and groups of people. So you have like these alliances that form within those individual characters. So whether it's a tag team that happens, because right now we've
Whitney and Angie.
We've seen, Whitney and Angie are paired up. They are a tag team group for this season. And then that means that Lisa and Meredith. So that's kind of who they've been pairing off with. And then you can have individual matches between them as well, and then that helps drum up interest and gets you more invested in those bigger tag team matches that happen too.
So what happened to Monica? How did she drop out of this?
So Monica got too much heat. So she was just a straight up villain. She was heel all the way, and she had leaned so much into that there were no redeeming qualities. So it kind of burned her character out. You took it to an extreme, and then there was no coming back. So what's kind of interesting is to see these dynamics and these arcs play out, but then you can't really do that if nobody is rooting for you. Everyone was unanimously against Monica. So now we have to bring her back as, well, first you have to give it some time. You have to give her a break. let it cool down.
All of season 5.
So pretty much all of season 5. Maybe she'll sneak in at the end, depending on how this is going, because they're kind of teasing it out there.
She's starting to emerge again.
And they're going to see what that reaction is like, and then maybe they'll sprinkle her in towards the end of the season. Maybe she pops up at an event or at a group thing or an outing. So like that could be
That's something to
way.
look forward to.
Something to look forward to. Maybe it could be a thing. So I'm just saying, like, that's how it's normally. You're going to gauge the level of interest, see what everybody's temperature is at, where the audience is with her, and then if it's time to bring her back. Because if they want it, then yeah, go ahead and bring it back.
So what would this be then? It's not like the WWF, the WWE. What is this? This is the WWRHO8. Nope. The dyslexia is kicking in.
Oh, boy. Real Housewives Wrestling Federation? No, it's... I mean,
Andy
you have
Cohen,
that.
a genius. So he could run his own wrestling federation if he wanted to after this.
Just don't do all of the same stuff as Vince McMahon, because
I think he has done some of them.
I know, and that's the problem.
His
so
days may be numbered on Bravo.
Let's not try to emulate everything about Vince McMahon, even though it is one way to run a sports entertainment business. Not recommended, though, based on the stuff that I've seen on the Netflix doc. It was rough to watch.
So the Monica thing is funny, just because talking about her being a villain, I guess she's on House of Villains.
Yeah, she popped up over there.
Is on E, but then also kind of on Bravo, I think.
Well, so this is the thing too. That's a wrestling thing too, because it used to be, the wrestling business used to be split up into territories. So
all right, we're getting really into it now.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of comparisons here, and then the more I've thought about it while I was watching all these docs, it's just come to the surface more and more. So there used to be these different territories where people would swap people around.
Oh, you're still going to go?
Yeah, I'm still going.
Yeah,
nope. It's all in here right now. So like there used to be the territories, and then what happened was now there were like these different companies. So then that's where you had WWE.
So it's like
WWF.
Real Housewives of New York City, Real Housewives of Potomac, Real Housewives of Orange County. Am I on the right track?
Those are yeah. So like if you're thinking about it as territories like that, but then that would basically be like if you had somebody from Real Housewives of New Jersey and then they come on to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So are we doing those crossovers? Not really.
On the Traders. It happens on the Traders.
It happens on other shows.
To come back.
And then where you're tying in too is then you are working with competitors in some regards, because then this is breaking kayfabe. I'm sorry for everyone out there. But then you're working with competitive companies too. So like during the Monday Night Wars, it was WWE versus WCW. And then ECW got thrown into the mix too, because then that was another like up and coming wrestling.
Okay. I'm gonna need to stop this.
I have to dial it. I'm almost there. So like, because what happens is like, that's like it's like a farm team for talent where you're like up and coming and training.
Those are
in
the
friends
business. Of.
Friends of are those like lower faction things. And then, so that's where you're pulling new talent. You're always getting new faces. They're getting exposure to the business. They're knowing how to kind of work with the crowd and run the storylines.
The comparisons are unbelievable.
It's too much. And I've been thinking about it for way too long.
All right. Well, let's move on from that, because I feel like everybody just probably...
Yeah, there's not a lot of crossover. All I'm saying is if you like Real Housewives, you should probably watch wrestling too. Get into it. Give it a shot.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not right now.
So more news that has been going on. Apparently, Whitney's business Prism isn't the only one that may be shady. There's also someone on TikTok trying to... I don't know that she's really gotten to tell the whole story yet. She's trying to do a very Risa Tisa thing in like a 50-part series, but it's not interesting.
There's not enough information. I never got into that either, though. The Who the Bleep Did I Marry sort of TikTok thing. No, it was,
I didn't make it all
slow.
the way through. It's too many parts.
If it's 50 parts, I feel like you can tell a story shorter than that. I just unveiled the entirety of how wrestling and Real Housewives are the same businesses in separate entities, but like I did that not in 50 TikToks, right? We did that a little bit quicker, more succinct.
I feel like you could have gone on for 50 though.
I could have. We barely scratched the surface on that. I still have some steam to burn off.
So what I've taken away from the ones I have watched is that Whitney's business Soul is some type of coaching MLM situation much like many of the others out there. And people signed up to come to an event. It was supposed to be a conference, I'm sure, where she was going to read a nice speech off her phone, very Mary Brown-like. And they ended up canceling it last minute, and people haven't found out about getting their money back. It seems like their accounts have been closed down. There's accusations of people being silenced. I'm not really sure what I think about it. Also, Whitney's a little busy right now because unfortunately her daughter's in the hospital. She's had a severe asthma attack and has needed to be in the hospital for a number of days.
So we can expect to see Whitney making a dancing TikTok with a RSV update.
Different Whitney.
Oh, right. Right. Okay.
No, we hope that Bobby is okay. Which Bobby is actually very cute for a little girl's name.
It always makes me think of Bobby's World.
You know who it makes me think of?
Who?
Jill Zarin's husband, Bobby, from Real Housewives.
Jill Zarin. Okay.
Hey, other people got it.
Okay.
What else? Announcements, just quickly. If you haven't checked out the Patreon, go over patreon.com/survivingpod. You can listen to this episode ad-free and early.
We updated the tiers, so there's some fun new benefits in there too. We've got our live streams, our live audio streams that are starting up. So we're doing our first one this month. That's open to all tiers. That'll be for a $12 tier benefit moving forward, but we're opening it up. The first and foremost one is going to be for everybody to jump in there. So check it out, and we'll get that scheduled here too.
I got to tell you, I'm really rooting for someone to bring up Amy from 1,000 Pound Sisters getting bit by a camel. I've been wanting to talk about that for a really long time.
I think, we were watching Love is Blind, and there was a camel date on that too.
That could be a good thing to chat about on there.
Yeah, we've got some stuff.
We're not going to cover it on here. We get so bored after people leave the pods. Or is it when they're in the pods? We have the opposite reaction. I get bored when they're in the pods.
Okay, it was so like this season I got bored with them in the pods because there was no drama. There was no
everybody immediately
knew.
Identified someone that they wanted.
Yeah, you knew who was going to end up with whom. And so why did we need to it felt like I was watching Married at First Sight again, which it just kind of drags.
That's pretty bad.
It just kind of drags on.
That's the bottom of the reality TV barrel.
Well, and that's why you would realize too, why does it feel like this was such a short resort trip that they did? And I was like, because normally on Married at First Sight, that's like the first 13 episodes is them on the honeymoon for some reason.
We are so off topic.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking about some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're interested in us talking about other things, you can check that out over there at the Patreon. You can also check us out on TikTok and YouTube at Surviving Pod. All right. We're still in Milwaukee. I don't understand what the opening of this episode was.
It was like a Board of Tourism spoof.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was good.
It was 1975, and the Milwaukee Board of Tourism paid them to see the greatest hits of Milwaukee.
And then, I don't know, there were a lot of Laverne and Shirley jokes. I'm not familiar with the lore.
I don't think that the majority of the audience remembers Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, I think that's a hot take. That might be a hot take.
You think it's a hot take?
I think that might be a hot take.
I don't think Gen Z knows who Laverne and Shirley is.
That's true. Is Gen Z watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
I don't know. Someone tell us. Are you? Are you out there?
Are you a Gen Zer? Send us a message on TikTok, I guess. Or Snapchat. Are they still on Snapchat? Please don't. I don't have a Snapchat.
It was like a weird, it kind of had that filter that they used on Breaking Bad.
No, I don't think that's the one that you're looking for.
It was an early Instagram filter.
They were making it look like it was an old film reel because it was 4:3 aspect ratio. It was grainy. It looked like one of those old Board of Tourism videos.
Who knew that there was so much stuff to do in Milwaukee? I certainly didn't. What did we do when we went there? We got cheese curds. That was pretty much the highlight.
Cheese curds and beer was a lot of what we were doing too.
Oh, we had beer cheese.
Yeah, beer cheese soup.
Beer cheese soup.
That was a big one. Yeah. We did some antiquing. We went to that market.
I don't remember. It's erased from my
much
memory.
Else. Yeah, I don't remember pretty much anything else that happened. I was in downtown Milwaukee a lot for work, but we were not doing fun things like this.
Are they fun? I don't know. We'll decide.
It could be fun. This looks like it was more fun than what I was doing in Milwaukee.
So they were at the Bucks game last episode. We're gone. It's the next morning. Everyone's waking up. Lisa Barlow has her glam squad here to get her ready for the day.
Yeah, everyone's recovering from the Bucks game. I'm surprised that the Bucks CMO, that chief marketing officer, he did not show up or pop in to ensure everyone that no sexual favors were performed in exchange for these tickets at the suite here.
No wonder the makeup artist in Lisa's room was like, "What, you're talking about the Jazz, right? That's the only place you get tickets from."
Who'd you have to blow to get tickets?
That's you,
this
right?
place?
You're the one who's got the floor seats.
Is that it? It's like the Jazz, but it's for here.
How have we moved past that? I love when they bring up old shit like that. It wasn't mentioned once, and we went to an NBA game.
They didn't bring it up. But Lisa's not the only one getting ready. Everybody's got to get ready. Whitney has this itinerary stacked for everyone. She gave us the whole rundown of what to expect.
She tried to pack it with a ton of fun stuff. Remember when she planned that last trip where they were doing the outdoor field activities, and that was when Mary sat in the van the whole time?
I think that was Meredith planned those, didn't she? Whitney was shitting on this because
I don't remember.
I think that was a Meredith trip.
Meredith planned something.
I think that was a Meredith trip, and you could tell she didn't.
Why were they outside? I feel like a Meredith trip would be we all sit in a hot tub or some type of warm water in a tub like environment.
Well, I think it was just Whitney was saying like,
we eat caviar.
I think it was by comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy, but I think by comparison, she wanted hers to be better planned than whatever that was that they went on.
So she's got some things for them to do. They're going to go to the beer caves, which I guess are Miller Lite's beer caves, technically.
Miller, yeah.
Miller's beer caves.
Miller Lite is a variety of Miller.
You're going
it's
to learn
like
very
Diet
quickly.
Coke. It's like a
Lisa knows.
Sort of.
And then they're going to the Harley Davidson Museum to have dinner.
Not my first expectation, I don't think, for
That's
this
one
trip.
of those fancy, expensive things that you could do at a museum as a way to make them more money. You can have private events.
It seemed like a weird precursor thing and like a polar opposite thing to do before you're going to go host a drag show, though, too.
Oh, I forgot. That's the whole reason they came here.
Yeah, that's the culmination point.
I think Bravo kind of forgot, too, because it was the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds of this episode.
Yeah, they really just sprinkled it in, and they were really talking up Trixie, but Trixie wasn't actually there. So
they
I don't
were
know.
hoping that we thought that was Trixie.
Yeah, because some of the housewives did think that was Trixie, but it wasn't.
Well, in the beginning, we saw that not everyone was just doing those two activities. So we kind of have a spoiler that people are going to go other places. And what ends up happening is Meredith drops into Lisa's room, and she's starting to catch her up on what's been going on.
Mostly around how Angie and Whitney approached Meredith at the Bucks game, and they were trying to get her to turn on Lisa.
And we didn't see that in the episode. So this is like a
No.
secret piece of footage that's been unlocked.
Some new stuff that's being revealed about the Bucks game.
It's very obvious that Lisa and Meredith have an agreement this season that they're going to have each other's backs. And then also, Lisa hasn't done anything heinous, like start a bath bomb line to get back at and try to steal business from Meredith. So
Yeah, Meredith is fully against Whitney this season. And so then by association, Angie. And then that just helps with her alignment with Lisa because Lisa and Angie are not doing well. And then she, by association, is rejecting Whitney as well. So we naturally have a 2v2
it's
that's lined
becoming
up.
very confusing at this point.
Well, it's all happening here.
Whitney's making a lot of enemies, and she's making the wrong enemies. We know that Meredith still is sitting on the information about Prism, that they're just reselling products that she's buying off of Alibaba, which was proven by a Google image reverse search.
Well, and Heather has that information, and she's kind of worried about how she's going to be able to bring this up to Whitney because Whitney seems to be very excited with this itinerary that she's put together today. It's all these fun things that they have planned. When am I going to find time to kind of ruin her day? It's hard to plan that out.
She's trying to find the ideal opportunity to drop that information so that they have the most drama that comes from it. Heather is a good housewife.
Bad Mormon, but good housewife.
Bad Mormon, bad friend, bad cousin.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think we would have fun.
Lisa has decided that she's not doing anything on this itinerary list because that's how she's going to get back at Whitney.
Yeah, Whitney was very excited to go around to everyone's rooms that morning and personally invite them to these wonderful things that she has planned for the day. And Lisa, yeah, I'm going to pass. I got other stuff that's going on here. I have a big day planned.
Whitney was so irritated with that, but she also doesn't ask what's going on when it's very clear that Lisa's mad at you.
By comparison, though, the stuff that Lisa planned obviously was very last minute. It was at a local rec center, it appears, where maybe they just finished up like a beginner's hockey skate session.
No, some poor PA had to find some place to drop them off at the last minute that would let them film there.
And honestly, it didn't look like it was that much fun. I'm just going to say, because even the dude, when they got there, no, what I'm saying is like when they got to the curling center. So
they go curling. That's the big exciting thing that they do, which you all, do you know that there is a curling emoji on the iPhone? Is that what is that?
We have burritos and tacos now, so yeah, that's good.
Is that the proper nomenclature for the actual apparatus?
Curling, I think they're stones, aren't they?
So it's a curling stone?
Yeah, I think so.
Who knew?
I actually don't know. I still don't know.
I was typing in curling and all of a sudden I got an emoji. I can't find emojis for the things that I actually need when I'm looking for them, but I found that.
I'm seeing them labeled as, okay, so yeah, come for the Housewives, stay for the curling facts. Miniature granite, curling rock, curling stone. Yeah, I think I'm safe with that assessment. Anyone can correct me, though.
Well, we'll need Lisa to correct us because she's becoming a real pro playing curling here.
But even when she was telling the guy who was going to be teaching them, or, you know, what, their curling guide? What do we call him?
He was kind of observing. He wasn't really teaching or getting involved.
I think there was some instruction that was given, but even when she told him, yeah, well, we decided to come do this because I wanted to stick it to my friends who were jerks to me last night. And he's like, oh, it sounds like you probably should have gone there because that's going to be way more fun than this.
What did she call them?
Oh, well, yeah, she... Why are you trying to fuck with my friendship, you friendship fuckers?
She didn't want to hang out with the friendship fuckers. So instead they went into curling. She only manages to pick off 2 people to come with her, and it's Britani and Mealy.
Mealy?
Mealy. I'm going to get that eventually.
And these are the 2 people on the cast. I think this was a strategy play for Lisa. She knew these people could not say no to her because she was like, come on, this is better camera time. You're going to get a little bit of a isolated experience that's happening over here. You won't get lost amongst the group because you guys have no standout footage right now.
Well, that's why there was 5 minutes of them curling, not even.
It was boring as shit.
It was super boring.
I feel like they sent like one camera guy. They were like, we could spare that.
Curling looks very fun in the Olympics. I'm just saying, watching Lisa and Britani and Mealy was not fun.
Yeah, amateur curling, people learning to curl, not very entertaining. I'll watch curling all day.
They've clearly split the group for maximum impact because everyone else is going in the Sprinter van to go do I was going to say it was a Guinness tour. Nope.
No, close though.
The Miller tour.
Not close, actually.
And not close at all.
Not close.
Although I feel like Milwaukee should be Dublin's sister city. Is that a thing?
That could be fun. Yeah, I mean, the first Guinness location that's being built in the United States is going to be in Chicago, though. So now that's a rivalry, Chicago and Milwaukee.
Are they still building that? I feel like we heard that a really long time ago.
Yeah, I think that was something that was still happening. I haven't checked on it in a while, though.
Well, Meredith goes in the van with everybody else. And on the way over, she ends up admitting that she told Lisa about what happened at the game, which is causing light bulbs to go off for everyone. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they're putting the pieces together here of, because at first the question was, Lisa isn't coming to this? Why not? And then as soon as you hear, Meredith is like, well, I happened to mention it to her.
You've got to own it.
Well, I happened to mention in passing. I don't know. They like to do the Whitney voice. I'm starting to enjoy doing the Meredith voice a little bit more. I mentioned in passing.
We'll get you a prescription and it'll improve it quite a bit.
Well,
the only, and I'm putting this in quote, interesting thing that's happening back at curling is that the Osmond has texted Britani, and he's very upset because he feels as though Britani has been ghosting him because she stopped talking to him for, 12 hours?
Something like that.
She turned her read receipts off so he can't tell what's going on anymore if she's even checked the messages.
The epitome of trust in a relationship, having the read receipts on.
And then This man in this text types, I guess you've terminated the friendship.
If you're referring to it as a friendship, are we in is it a relationship? I don't think so.
He obviously chose those words to hurt her because she doesn't want a friendship. She thinks she's been in a relationship.
But clearly you are not. So this is where Lisa has to rally around Britani and kind of pretend like she cares about this still, even though she's been grabbing her phone and texting for her while they've been here and taking it upon herself to go ahead and speak for Britani, just in the same way that she's upset that this man, this Osmond, is controlling her.
This is Mormon 2.0. We're fighting the patriarchy by taking our friends' phones out of their hands and texting their loser boyfriends.
Not boyfriend, friend, person. He's my fucking special gentleman friend.
Everyone just wants Britani to ditch him because they're tired of hearing about it at this point.
I think that's where the advice is now coming from. We're sick of hearing you complain about this, and you're not doing anything to fix it, rectify it, find a solution for it, or remove yourself from this situation. So we're just going to go ahead and recommend, why don't you just cut this dude off so I don't have to hear about it anymore?
That's the fun stuff that Lisa has gotten herself into since she didn't want to join the rest of the group.
The treason, yes, that Britani is experiencing. And I liked how that tied back to Lisa's mentality of why she invited these people here, because it's like, yes, treason, that's a great word for that. Speaking of, can I trust you? Can I trust all of you who are here? Do I have your loyalty? I'm going to need it.
The dozens of you, there's 2 of them.
No, I know. And it's just, that's like, she needs that commitment, though. She's extended
slowly
this,
accumulating numbers on her side.
this opportunity that I gave you because I'm letting you into the inner sanctum of Lisa's, attention and focus here. So please jump on board in a fight if I need you, but also don't overstep.
They're not going to say anything.
They're not going to say anything.
Meanwhile, over in the beer caves.
That's a fun way to start off a segment here, yeah.
I only want to follow Mary Cosby.
It's just, can we get a show of Mary Cosby experiencing things? Because as it turns out, she has never had beer, ever.
Mary Cosby doing things for the first time. She is so unintentionally funny.
Mary Cosby reacts. That's the series. Yes, because that's the whole thing on YouTube. It's people reacting to things. Put Mary Cosby in front of things, have her react to them.
She claims that she has never had beer before.
Never. I don't know.
We know she's a fan of champagne.
Specifically Dom Perignon 2003, because it tastes so much better because the people died. I don't know. People dying makes good grapes.
It did something special to the grapes that year.
Something happened. There was a drought, killed a lot of people, but the grapes, really good.
She loves to give a story where something really bad happened to people. It's happened multiple times on this show. She's very morbid.
Very comfortable in that space. Yeah. Which is fine. That's good. It's okay. It's all right.
She does like the Miller Lite.
She approves.
2 thumbs up, and not in the way that Heather would mean it on this show.
Yeah. Not 2 thumbs up emojis. 2 thumbs up.
It's regal. It's an upscale beer. I'm sure that the Miller Company did not write that for you.
She didn't know that beer could be so classy. Because Miller High Life, as you may know, is the champagne of beers. So that's why Mary loves this. I was really hoping she would hate it. I was really hoping that she would say nice things there and then talk shit about it in the confessional.
Oh, nothing's funnier than when Mary Cosby doesn't like something.
To just completely counter that, where
so that was unfortunate.
That would have been it for me.
She's really been controlling herself though about going to a negative place this season. She's keeping it pretty light.
Yeah, she learned that the comic relief from last season, because she had to play that role, they had to flex that muscle for her, and it's working out because now, see, she's able to do kind of that utility thing where she can be comic relief, or she can say some really brutal, heavy, nasty stuff, and then that gets some stuff going.
Well, she's keeping it light still. She's bringing up Jeffrey Dahmer again because they head upstairs. There's a ghost tour that is also part of this beer cave situation.
So there's a Miller, there's a beer cave, and then there's a Miller Inn. And so at the inn, they have some ghost stories.
It's like a pub, I would imagine.
Yeah.
We didn't see too much. I was very distracted by Mary's story.
Oh, we didn't get to hear their ghost story at all because this is completely overshadowed by Mary Cosby's Jeffrey Dahmer story, which I'm sure before they got to Milwaukee, it was just the general consensus was like, hey, what's the thing that makes most people from Milwaukee wildly uncomfortable when you bring it up? And it was probably Jeffrey Dahmer. Just what are we trying to get away from the image that is imprinted on an entire city?
I feel like it's the only thing she knew about Milwaukee.
That is it. That is all that she knows.
Which I kind of like understand Mary in that way because I have a lot of serial killer facts in my head. And it would be very enjoyable to find other people who hopefully could add more to my knowledge, but nobody gives her anything back. Every time she brings it up, there's just silence.
Well, I think it makes people very uncomfortable, especially people who it's like people from Milwaukee. And then
it was a long time ago.
No, I know, but it's somebody who's not from Milwaukee. And then the only thing that they're going to talk about is Jeffrey Dahmer.
You should expect that at this point.
Does Gen Z know about Jeffrey Dahmer?
So is that what the tourism board is trying to do? They're trying to change the image of Milwaukee because the only thing people know about it is Jeffrey Dahmer?
I did like that Mary admitted that her dad lied about a lot of things. So maybe he lied about that. Because when she's talking about her dad walking by while they're wheeling out body parts in the bags, that was a little much. It seemed like
a little embellished, perhaps.
Far-fetched, yeah.
I have my own serial killer connection. Kind of.
What's interesting is that we both have a serial killer connection, and it's the same serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do occasionally, this is like a party story, something very similar to
very specific parties.
Maybe what Mary Cosby would bring up. But, you know, I was flipping through, my mom kept a baby book when she was pregnant with me and for a few years after I was born. And as I was thumbing through the pages one day, looking to find wholesome memories of my childhood.
Good luck.
There's a page where my mom documented important events, and one of them was Bundy gets the chair.
That was it. That was all it said that day.
To which I said to my mother, I'm sorry, did you put that Ted Bundy got executed in my baby book?
It was all over the news, according to her.
That was the answer.
That was very big news.
It was big news. I put it in the book because it was important at the time.
Everybody was talking about it. It was all over the TV. Stuff you got to know. The real things to take away.
And now you have been somewhere that Ted Bundy has been.
A Bundy connection, yeah. It was I've been to the Stew Pot in Snowmass Village, Colorado.
Which I feel like Lisa has been to as well.
Probably. I mean, there's a couple of people who've probably ventured out this way. It's good skiing. So if you're in the know, that was one of the places where, unfortunately, he picked up a hapless victim as part of his move across the country. So that was in Colorado. Been there. Didn't even know it. And then I think we were watching one of the documentaries.
The French onion soup was good. I think I remember you saying that.
Soup was good. The soup was good. It was very warm in there. I remember waiting for the shuttle to get back to the hotel, and it was freezing cold.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Meanwhile, everyone is entranced by the story that Mary is telling upstairs, except for Whitney and Heather. They have stayed down in the beer caves, eating the remaining cheese and some Blue Moons. And this is the time that Heather decides she is going to tell Whitney about the scandal with Prism.
Oh, boy. And Whitney's already aware. She kind of knows.
Well, of course she does, because she's been making the purchases on Alibaba.com.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of charges on that credit card, but
she doesn't even try to defend it. She's just upset that somebody would come for the reputation of her business.
Well, I'd like that it was some of her business partners had brought the social media post to her and was like, is this somebody you know? Is this Meredith? Because this sounds like something that Meredith would do.
Meredith or Monica?
No, I think Meredith, because Meredith is the one who's always on social media with the fake accounts.
Yeah, she does end up finding a lot of evidence of rumors and things on the internet. Everyone tags her in everything.
It's a DM. It showed up in my inbox.
If you want a direct line to Meredith, all you need to do is tag her in a social post because she reads every single one of them.
Slide into her DMs.
How is she going to deny it anyway? It's literally the same exact photo side by side.
Well, so here's the defense that she comes up with. She works with curated vendors.
From Alibaba.com.
She buys. No, I think what she's getting at is that she buys this stuff. And then Alibaba is also buying the same stuff. So
no.
Oh, I think that was what she was.
Wholesale prices?
I think so. I think that's what she was getting at.
Or is she trying to say, I buy them from a vendor? Where the vendor got them from, I don't know.
Oh, okay. That could be a better excuse.
But in which case, you are paying a markup, I'm sure, that you shouldn't be. So you should correct that and just buy it directly from Alibaba.com. Cut out the middleman, Whitney.
That's commerce, baby.
I wonder if, what was it? I have already forgotten his name.
Ryan.
Yeah, Whitney.
Oh, boy.
I was going with Rose again. Whitney Rose and Gypsy Rose.
Whitney Rose knows.
Gypsy Rose, her ex, I don't know, perhaps the father of her baby, I guess we'll find out in a few months here. He loves wrestling. He must love Real Housewives as well.
Oh, maybe he is watching.
Let us know, Ryan.
Please don't. Maybe don't. I just love how Heather's only instruction that she gave Whitney was, please don't bring this up on the Sprinter bus with everybody, because this is very important information for you to know. And I wanted to bring it up to you because it came to my attention. But please spare me the trouble of bringing it up in front of everyone.
1,000%, because she didn't want to be in the same enclosed space when she let the news out.
Yeah, because she didn't want to be sitting next to Meredith when Meredith finds out, because guess how many people Meredith probably told? Just Heather. So now you know.
So? Well, just Heather of the people in the cast. She told at least 15,000 other people.
Yeah, I mean, she was probably...
She shared that post everywhere. Everyone knows about it. She's sending it to bath bomb suppliers just so they know that this business is not well respected.
Discrediting her.
She manages not to say anything on the way back to the house because everyone goes back to change, to get ready for dinner, to grab their clothes for the drag event. And it doesn't last. We have a moment of peace until they get into the van. And I guess this is a loophole because Whitney didn't bring it up in the Sprinter van the first time, but this is now a new Sprinter van trip.
See, I think that's where Heather should have been more specific. Please don't bring it up in the Sprinter van at all. Not just on the trip back to the hotel that we're going to today, just ever. Don't ever bring it up on a Sprinter van. You can bring it up at dinner. That's fine.
Maybe just don't bring it up in Milwaukee.
Save it for...
She didn't want to ruin her trip, but she kind of is.
She couldn't. Yeah, she couldn't help it. So Meredith gets defensive right away.
Well, I want to bring up the way Whitney approached everyone.
Oh, boy.
Because she has not had the growth, the personal growth that I think she wants us to believe. Because she doesn't directly bring this to Meredith. Instead, she poses it to the entire van by saying, you all have been talking about my business.
I think she was trying to protect her source there. I think she wasn't able to say, Heather came and spoke to me and said,
it's very
Meredith.
obvious. Come on.
Well, and then that's the other problem, too, is that if you know that Meredith was talking shit, then you need to go talk to Meredith. But you're bringing up in front of everyone.
Well, she doesn't want to confront her directly.
Right.
It doesn't go well for Whitney when she confronts Meredith.
No, because then people start talking to her, and then Angie comes in, and then there's like some sort of other apology that somebody else just elbows Whitney out of the way, and she doesn't even have anything else to say, and it just kind of dissipates into nothing. So she does better in the group dynamic.
She can't go one-on-one with Meredith. That's the problem.
Yeah, she does not have the skills necessary to complete that match.
So instead, she poses it to everyone. I think this was best case scenario for Meredith. She told Heather, knowing Heather would tell Whitney.
Yeah, I think that was the intention.
And that's why she didn't come to her either. She sat on this info.
And that's why in the group, I think that was why Heather was the only person that she told, because then that way she would know if Whitney brings it up, I know who told her. That was the play.
Meredith thinks she's playing a very sophisticated game of chess with everyone here.
Yeah, but it's very basic stuff here. What we need to work on is her microphone, either the placement or the pack. I don't know what was going on, but she sounded all garbled. I could barely understand her.
I'm telling you, she got in the tub with it. She forgot to take it off. She dipped in the tub.
Okay, they should know that they need to put her mic pack into a condom.
I'm sorry.
That is a very common thing in production. I'm sorry if that caught you off guard.
Do they not just make waterproof mic packs?
No, it's just, well, okay, so here's a good rule. Don't use a lubricated condom. It just has to be.
That does seem like it would cause problems.
That's a big problem.
Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe they did use a lubed up one. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it.
Can you explain why this is a thing?
Because it's a waterproof.
It doesn't seem very economical.
No, it's just, and it fits everything in there that you need to fit in there.
Does it?
It does. It's got a reservoir tip just in case. No, I don't know. So I think it has everything that it needs to. And then it's waterproof, but it's not restrictive enough where it's going to cause the mic pack to overheat, because most other enclosures it's breathable. There is a breathable latex enclosure for the device.
Who knew?
I did.
I wonder what percentage of condom sales go towards production companies just looking to encase a mic pack within them.
Hard to tell exactly, but probably more than the amount of Q-tips that are sold to just clean keyboards. Like they try to advertise that that's what they're used for. They say don't put them in your ears.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, they say don't put them in your ears. Q-tips. They don't want you to do that.
No, I know they don't want you to do that, even though that's obviously the intended
everybody's
purpose.
Using it that way, yeah.
Well, they need to move where they sell Q-tips. Maybe not in the personal care aisle. They should also move the condoms to the electronics aisle.
I guess so, yeah. Have condoms everywhere. This fight isn't really going anywhere. We're losing Mary Cosby.
I couldn't hear anything.
Well, it was very hard to understand. Mary Cosby's getting bored, so you know the audience is getting bored. So let's put a pin in this for later. Maybe we'll save it for dinner. We're at the Harley-Davidson Museum, motorcycles galore, because Whitney is a big fan of Harley-Davidson motorcycles. They go to Sturgis every year.
Who knew?
I had no idea.
Didn't know. Honestly, didn't care.
They're talking about how amazing all of this stuff is. And I'm like, isn't Harley Davidson like on its way going out of business? It's one of those businesses where they're like, in the next like 30 years, this could very well be.
Yeah, it's a generational issue where younger people don't want to buy motorcycles or Harley Davidsons.
Specifically Harley Davidsons, yeah.
Yeah, they do have a marketing problem, which is probably why they're on Bravo trying to appeal to younger people and women.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work for them, though. I don't think that's your core demo.
I'm just telling you, it seemed like everybody who was involved in this trip, all the places we stopped, had a motive for having this group of women come.
It's true. Champagne and beers. And now we're cranking hogs.
Oh, gross. No one actually got to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, I think that's why this was a little bit more palatable for people, too.
They didn't even get to sit on one.
They didn't have to be involved in it. Yeah, no direct interaction at all. You're just kind of looking at things.
And pretending that you didn't just have a fight in the van 5 minutes before you got inside.
Yes, cheers to Whitney for such a great trip. And she's bitter as fuck.
Well, she had a host present for everyone.
Yeah, here's your fucking jewelry gift or whatever, I guess. Whether you want it or not, here it is. Picked them out, and it's the piece that is sharing a image with the Alibaba search.
Was it the same one?
It looked like it was.
I think it was a different one. It's actually, I know it's on her website because I've seen that one. It's like a sunburst situation.
Okay, yeah, sterling silver probably, maybe?
It's definitely plated. It's not very, I don't know. I don't think it's going to, I wonder how much she's charging for it. Should I see?
$6.99?
No, it definitely not $6.99. Maybe put a 60. I don't know. Let's see, shall we? Are you prepared to know how much she's selling that for?
Okay, what do we got?
$130.
Okay, so I was not close. You were closer. Well, then we already talked about how Whitney isn't great at one-on-one confrontations, especially going toe-to-toe with Meredith. They're trying to do that again, and then Whitney is trying to keep Lisa out of it, because then Lisa's trying to jump in on this confrontation. But Whitney just wants to keep it as a single match here.
I don't think Meredith said one word in this argument.
Meredith wasn't really saying anything. And it's just so funny when Whitney kept saying, I would like to keep it between me and Meredith, please. while I'm confronting her in front of everyone at the table.
And Lisa's like, and me.
Yeah, no.
I think that let me just give you a piece of advice. You're making this into more than it actually is.
Can you define gossip for me using Webster's dictionary, though? I'm going to need to know what that is.
Well, that becomes the problem because Whitney is upset that they were gossiping about her business.
Uh-huh.
And Lisa thinks that's rather funny because you've been gossiping as well. That's what you were doing when you were trying to tell Meredith that she shouldn't trust me.
Uh-oh.
So that's why I'm involved in this conversation.
Consequences of her actions here.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Whitney's just not fast enough to keep up.
No, because then it's changing gears, and then she gets stuck on something because then she's telling Lisa that she's steamrolling the conversation, and then that's all she has to go to. So she's just spamming that as a response. You're steamrolling. And then Lisa catches on to the fact that Whitney can't think of any other words to use to describe what's happening. There's no other conversation. There's nothing else to feed on. So then she just has to escalate. So she starts yelling.
That's when Angie jumps in because, like you said, we have a tag team situation going on. So we have Lisa and Whitney with each other. We have Lisa and Meredith who have each other's backs. And then we have Whitney and Angie. And I'm not exactly sure. Again, I'm not very into Angie this season. She attempts to have what seems to be like a Teresa Giudice moment where you remember when Teresa flipped the table?
Yes.
Except she kind of flips a chair, but I'm not really sure that she intended to flip the chair or if her bag was hanging on it and it was just too heavy because the chair was like laying on top of something.
She got up and then it fell
backwards.
Yeah, it just launched.
Then she had to just stand the rest of the time.
Well, then that gets awkward. And then how do you go over and pick up the chair that you have kicked over or has fallen over now because of your bag? How do you then turn your back from the person that you're yelling at and having a conversation with and then
pick up your chair?
Correct your chair. So I think was that Maylee that came over and picked up the chair? Who was that?
Oh, I didn't see that anyone even did it.
Somebody else snuck in.
Because it would have been too embarrassing for Angie.
That's awkward. That's terribly awkward.
Well, and now she's standing up. So now, of course, you're going to be in the line of fire of everybody yelling at you. She looks like she's getting aggressive because she's standing and everyone else is sitting. But really, it's just because the chair is on the floor and she can't pick it up.
She has nowhere else to go at this point. Yeah.
She's completely trapped.
She's committed to the standing bit. And then Lisa kind of takes it a little bit too far. She starts bringing in the children. She's going to throw some accusations around here. But I thought it was a weird kind of route to go.
So how did this come up? Was it because Angie was trying to leave the table by saying that she had to call her daughter or talk to her daughter?
No. So this was what was weird was because Angie was talking about how she talks to Lisa on the phone.
All the time.
A lot.
Morning, noon,
constantly.
And night.
And because I think it was in response to Lisa telling Angie, I don't think you've been a very good friend lately. And Angie was very insulted by that because she commits a lot of time to Lisa and hearing her blather on about things.
And then telling other people the things that she said.
Yes. Well, they both do that. And then Lisa gets mad at Angie when she does it, though. So it's like, well, I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
I just think you can't act as though you have done nothing wrong when you were involved in the conversation where you were telling Meredith that you shouldn't be trusting Lisa. So how are you going to act like you are Lisa's friend if you're telling someone else that they shouldn't be friends with her?
Yeah, so, I mean, Lisa's claim was not far off, but then when she started to say that the excuse that Angie always uses is she has to go talk to her daughter, And that was weird. That was where everybody at the table went, oh, okay. Like, that was one too far. You're hitting below the belt now, Lisa.
We just had to watch Lisa cry the last episode because her son had a bellyache while he's out on his mission.
Yeah. Do you think Angie should have fired back with, how's your son's appendicitis doing?
That's why we need to be faster.
Yeah.
I don't think he had appendicitis. We haven't heard anything that happened. Jack seems fine. But we all had to hear Lisa talk about it. Come on, guys. She gives you so much material.
She gave you the comeback, and you didn't even know that you had it.
They got to get better at fighting. I'm telling you, it's because Lisa's from the East Coast. She's from New York.
She's got the edge.
She's able to keep up in a fight a little bit more.
Well, and then is that what they had Bronwyn too? Because then her husband, I mean, he's old, but
oh man,
he's New York.
That's New York.
That's New York.
Yeah, how do we even get to that? So,
it's after
sits down.
It's after Brittany's big announcement.
Okay. Angie takes a seat because she has no response to the thing about her daughter, and someone picked up her chair. So thank God, now she can finally sit back down.
And everyone gets equally uncomfortable. Where it's okay. I think we went a little too far. Let's bring this down. Let's go ahead and call this.
I don't think anyone really was reacting like it was Brittany, who saw an opportunity when everyone kind of got hushed because they didn't really like the comment about what was being said about Electra, which, by the way, you were like, I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Carmen Electra?
No, of course it's Angie's daughter's name. Very Greek.
Okay. Brittany just hears the silence. She can't read the room.
Am I imagining this, or did she take a spoon and hit her glass?
She did.
She did? Okay.
She did that. That was the thing that happened.
She has a very formal and important announcement to make to the table. She has broken up with Jared Osmond because she had an epiphany about their relationship.
And she's told everyone about it individually. And so now we get to hear about it again and see the highlight reel of every single epiphany moment that she's talked about it today. But I like the fact that she hasn't told the Osmond yet about this epiphany.
She has mentally broken up with this man, but she hasn't actually taken the steps to make him aware because she's definitely 1,000%, because she's definitely going to go back on it.
Yeah. Mary knows it. We know it. She's going to be back with this dude in like 5 minutes. It doesn't really matter. Do you know the Jared man who lives on Osmond Lane? That's the road that they were all very impressed with.
Yeah. Did the road exist before the Osmonds, or it was named after them?
Maybe it was named after them. I think that they had said that the Osmonds had never lived on Osmond Lane, but it's just a really nice road to live on. It has really nice houses. It's very sought after.
The accusation is, well, Brittany clearly doesn't see anything in this guy. He's not really contributing much to the relationship. It has to be because she's chasing after him for his name and for the clout that comes with that.
Yeah, that's where we get kind of the shift here. And I think it was Bronwyn was kind of leading that charge. So then Brittany's taking that personally, and then she starts firing back, but just horribly, like on the nose, way too much to the point with Bronwyn. And I don't think she's ready for that.
Oh, okay. I'm still not sure what to think about Bronwyn. I didn't like that Bronwyn can dish it, but she can't take it.
See, I think she was able to take it. I think she was able to defend, too, because then that was the thing, was Brittany is swinging up a weight class here, going after Bronwyn. Like, this is child's play at this point for Bronwyn to go ahead and put her back in her place.
I think you're right. It was a low blow going straight to the gold digger thing. Are you just with your husband for his money because he's old? You're clearly not into him because you're attracted to him. As if Bronwyn's never heard that before.
What was funny was how many other people Brittany was able to offend at the table without even realizing that she was offending them too. Because then by going after Bronwyn and calling her a gold digger, you're insulting Whitney, because Whitney has always dealt with that accusation because her husband's like 18 years older than she is.
You got to keep these things in mind.
And I loved how, once the prenup was brought up, because Bronwyn doesn't have a prenup with her husband.
It was a weird flex on her part.
I think it was just to show that, like, I don't think that helps her case, though, because if you're a gold digger, you're not going to have a prenup.
I didn't get that part where she was trying to be like, well, he trusts me. Clearly, we don't have a prenup.
I get it. And then, so that was funny because then that became a very uncomfortable thing for Meredith because she has a post-nup agreement. And so she was like, oh, that's personal stuff. Let's not talk about that, because she doesn't want anybody to bring up her post-nup.
It is kind of strange to talk about.
I get it. Yeah, this isn't really dinner conversation.
But I think it didn't help you in the fight.
Yeah, and I think, but to your point, though, of saying Bronwyn dishing what she can, taking it and dishing it too, but like, I think she did, and she's still...
No, I'll say she gave it back.
Yeah.
And she had answers.
Yes.
She came with answers, but she was so offended by the fact that Britani went there. That's the part where I'm saying you were giving it too at the beginning of this. That's
Okay.
how you started the conversation.
Yeah.
Was coming for her about her intentions of being with this guy.
Well, and I think the other part too is just how wildly uninformed Britani is, because then she was like, didn't even know Bronwyn's husband's name. So making an accusation about Bronwyn's relationship when she doesn't really know what's going on. Clearly, you have given Bronwyn all of the information, because you will not shut up about all of these texts, the voicemails, the missed calls from your Osmond. So she has all of the information. You are losing that battle.
I guess she's more well-informed.
She's very well-informed.
To make an opinion in this situation.
Yeah, and I think Bronwyn, again, she's coming back as a utility character where she can be a good... She's kind of like a 50-50. She's a good and a bad, depending on the circumstance. And it's kind of based on perception, and it's going to be a mixed review from the audience, which I think that's good to have, because we have a lot of very clearly defined good versus bad.
That's kind of all that happens in this fight. This was a really weird episode in that it was really abrupt ends to all of the arguments.
Very much so, yes.
Because it was just time to leave for the drag show. You know what it was? It was because they were on a tight timeline.
The schedule,
They
would not allow it.
They go from place to place, and they couldn't extend their arguments.
This was too many things in one day, though, too, is all I kept thinking. I was like, I'd be so tired. I would be back at the hotel by now.
They all get changed. Bronwyn is wearing a hot dog costume.
Okay, it's she's trying to say it's not a costume.
She's saying a costume.
And Mary Cosby is the first one to tell us she knows couture. She knows costume. This is costume.
I really wanted commentary at the drag show when she got there.
For the hot dog reaction.
What did everyone think of the hot dog?
See, this reminded me of my best friend has a hot dog costume. And it was a Halloween costume that was used one year. And it just kind of lived in his closet after that. It would randomly make appearances. Sometimes he would play shows, he would play guitar, and he would have the hot dog costume on for that. So it came in useful. It came in handy.
Surprise people.
Every once in a while. There were a few instances, like on one of his birthdays, where he became very inebriated. And he put on the hot dog costume, and there were videos of him throughout the night wearing the hot dog costume. But the next day he woke up, he had no memory of doing this. So he didn't find out until the next day that he had put on the hot dog costume and then gently taken it off and hung it back up before the next morning, and didn't even realize, had no idea that the hot dog costume had even made an appearance the night before. So that's what I always think of with the hot dog costume.
I'm glad you had a fond memory.
Yeah, it was good. Did that feel like Whitney's fascination with drag, her storyline that she had for this?
They were trying to explain away the reason why they were there, which to me seems very clear that there was an effort from the Tourism Board of Milwaukee to have housewives from Bravo shows come here, and this was the show that got selected to go on this trip, and that this was one of the many stops they made in Milwaukee. Because she was positioning it as though she was hosting the show alongside Trixie.
Trixie wasn't even there.
And I never saw her have a microphone.
She did have a microphone. She was hosting the dance-off section.
Okay,
where then we
you hosted, 15 minutes of the entire night?
Maybe. And I think if anybody was going to host, it should have been Mary. I think the audience was way more excited to see Mary than anybody else.
It seemed like that. Also,
they were chanting Mary.
It was a crime that Lisa Barlow did not sing at that show.
Oh, man. Yeah, she's got the pipes for that.
You want to go to next episode?
Next episode, yeah, if we didn't have enough at the ropes course, we got zip lines coming. Who's scheduling this stuff?
I thought they already went ziplining.
See, ziplining is different. You're going to see what the differences are, okay? Because the ropes course is a very stationary thing, unless I'm jumping on the cargo net.
I don't want to do either of them.
I know. Nobody wants to do this.
And then we see Angie coming for Lisa's parenting. So she's trying to get back at her for that comment that was made at dinner. It's too late. You let the fight pass.
Yeah. She's got a George Costanza sort of rebuttal that she's going to have to cook up here. The whole flight back to Utah.
And then somehow Lisa ruins Brittany's relationship with the Osmond.
I thought Brittany's epiphany was that the Osmond's no good for her.
And that she wasn't in a relationship with him anymore.
And that we're ending the relationship, even though there was no relationship to end.
Now every episode I'm just going to look forward to Monica popping up. Just because you said that, so...
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to keep an eye out. She might just be lurking in the background of shots, and then we're going to have to find her later in the season. They're going to flash back to all these different instances where she was there the whole time.
I would love that.
I'm making up a whole storyline here. I don't know what's going on.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast or leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next time.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text the long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
If there's one thing that my family and friends know me for, it's being an amazing gift giver. I owe it all to Celebrations Passport from 1-800-Flowers.com, my one-stop shopping site that has amazing gifts for every occasion. With Celebrations Passport, I get free shipping on thousands of amazing gifts. And the more gifts I give, the more perks and rewards I earn. To learn more and take your gift giving to the next level, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.